We're back on Soul Sisters. I'm Yama Brown.
I'm Heather Hayes.
And we got a very, very special guest. Ms.Robbie is in the house.
Good evening.
Hi, how's everybody?
We are awesome. Thank you so much for coming on with us.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor.
Oh.
Well, thank you. It is an honor for us. I kept asking people, is she going to send us some chicken or something? Because I'm so mad that every time I watch your show, I'm like, can I please go to the restaurant? Oh my gosh.
I want some pies.
One day I might make that happen. I'll send you some chicken.
Yes. The food looks incredible. But
yes,
for people who don't know, your story did not start as being a restaurateur. You actually sang with the Ike and Tina Turner show. How did that come about?
Well, it was one of the original Ike and Tina from St. Louis. I mean, after Brownsville and Nutbush, what everybody's aware of. But they were in St. Louis. And we were a singing group here. Ike needed girls to put on the back. Our first record was Fool in Love. And he needed girls, to sing on that. And so we were already a group around St. Louis, doo-wopping and singing at all the clubs. And he asked us to do the background for Fool in Love. There were no Ikeettes at that time. We were the Murettes.
Okay.
And the Ardettes, I think. I don't know. I've been so many ettes, I can't keep up. But but we were already a group singing at that time. And he asked us to put the background on. And we did, and the record became a hit.
That is awesome. What was that experience like? I mean, because was your goal to be a singer at the time, or was it a hobby, or this was the goal? And then when you got that opportunity and started touring with him, what was that like for you?
No, we were singers at the time, and it was just we worked with another group, and the young man Art Lassiter was originally supposed to put the lead on. And he and Ike had some kind of dispute over the money or something like that. And we all were at the studio. Tina, at that time, we called her Ann. Tina was one of the background singers with us. So when the lead vocalist didn't show up, Tina told Ike that she know the lead, and he told her to go on and put it on. We were already in the studio. She put it on, the song hit. And that's how it started. But we were already a group around St. Louis singing in all the nightclubs and things like that.
Wow.
So that's an incredible story. How long did you stay with Ike and Tina?
Probably about 8 years. I mean, then after continued to do their background, and we remained friends even out to this day. We're still cool.
Oh, that's awesome. So yeah. I did a little research. So I'm like, well, I didn't know that you still continue to sing after that, apparently. So you have sung with the likes of Barbra Streisand, Joe Cocker, Stevie Wonder. Like, I mean, your discography is quite impressive. So
after Ikeettes, during the time we were I went with Dr. John after the Ikeettes, and I became a night tripper with Dr. John. But we would go in the studios and put background on all the entertainers, that sang. We would supply the background. And there was a lady by the name of Claudia King, who was a contractor, and she would hire out all the girls to put background. A lot of times we didn't even know who was singing behind. We just went in and supplied the background like musicians do the tracks. Mm-hmm. So it was the same thing, background singers, yeah.
That's quite different than how they have been doing it. I mean, for the past 20 years, because you usually know who you're, going to sing background for.
Well, a lot of times, I mean, we did jingles, we did the whole bit. We didn't know who we were working for. We just were working and glad to work. So ball players, football players that think they could sing, we put background on. Anybody that went in the studio and needed background, they could hire us. And that's the way it was. Yeah.
Wow. So was cooking the second love and music was the first?
That's you got it right. Look, I tell everybody I put down the mic and picked up a pot. So I'm still singing. In fact, I got a concert here in St. Louis the day after Thanksgiving with Bobby Rush. I think we're still two of the oldest entertainers that's still out there trying to kick our heels up. I tell everybody I got one tail feather and I'm still shaking it.
Oh, well, shoot, keep shaking it long as you can.
Right, because I saw that photo shoot you did. Them pictures was fierce.
Hey,
oh, they were so beautiful.
Thank you. That's the magic of makeup and hair. Like the lady said, it was the hair. It was the hair, honey.
Yes, the hair does it. The hair does it.
The hair always does it, right?
We can't live without that hair. I mean, sometimes that makeup will help, but that hair, you gotta have it. And I got a bunch of them.
But now you got a new single out that's doing pretty good now, right?
Yeah. I'm getting ready for my second one. It's called Ain't My Stuff Good Enough.
Ain't My Stuff Good Enough. I saw that.
Okay.
Did you see it? But that song was written like years ago for the iCats. And back in those days, they banned it because they said it was too dirty. Now I listen to it, it ain't dirty enough. I need to put some mud in it.
You gotta put some more dirt on it.
It's called Feel Like Cheating.
Feel Like Cheating. Okay.
Feel Like Cheating. So it's a guy in Jackson, Mississippi that wrote that for me. And I'm in the studio working on that, getting ready to release. That's one of my favorite songs also. Feel Like Cheating is from a woman's standpoint of view. These things that they do to us. And I'm telling you, I'm thinking about cheating.
I can't wait to hear that one.
All right.
Right. That's another women's anthem. Feel Like Cheating.
That's right. Feel like cheating. And it's easy to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a question. So when you said you put down the mic for a while and you picked up a pot, how did you, because I see it's so, to me, I guess at the time that you started your restaurant, I feel like it must have been much harder at that time to open a restaurant, especially as a female, as it pertains to like right now. And I think it's so inspiring. So how did all of that come about?
Well, after I had developed a health problem and I moved back, I left Los Angeles, moved back home. And then I'm like, well, what am I going to do? I didn't make tons of money to sit back and relax. So I had to continue to work. So during the time we were out on the road, everything was segregated. I'm the oldest of 9 kids. So my mom taught me how to cook. And thank God, out of all the ones out there, I was the better cook. I was the best cook. So when we would run into, get a kitchen or something, we always carried a hot plate and an electric skillet. So like I said, things were segregated. So it wasn't a lot of restaurants we could go into. So we would make food in our room. So when I quit singing because of my health, I moved back to St. Louis and was like, what am I going to do? So at first I went to school to train as a dialysis technician. I did that for probably about 12 years. And then I had reached like a salary cap and I had to go back to school. And so I'm like, I can't afford to go back to school because I got to pay my bills. And I've always been adventurous, trying to reinvent myself. And I said, well, like everybody think I can cook so well, so I'm going to open a restaurant. And I mean, I said it like that, but it wasn't that easy. I found out as a black woman, I couldn't get a loan. Nobody supported me. Everybody was like, you gonna open a soul food restaurant? Don't nobody want no soul, they want salads. And I'm like, oh Lord, what am I gonna do? They just stepping on my dreams, stabbing it, walking all over it. But then I got the courage. A young man told me, he said, you have to remember, this is your dream. It's nobody else's. And you got to make it work. So after I got that, wanted everybody to praise me and encourage me, and I found out that wasn't going to happen, I'm like, let me put my boots on and get out in this mud and make this happen for myself. And that's what I did. I started finding out different things. I would go try to get loans and the bank would turn me down. Well, you don't have no experience in this. SBAs were like, you need a proposal. You need all the stuff I had went past. I had my building. All I needed was a working capital. And I realized that I wasn't going to get that. So what I did, I would go to a garage sales, buy a skillet. I remember back in the day when I was in St. Louis, there was a white club that hired the Black entertainers, and Ike and Tina, I was Ike at, we worked there. So I called this man and asked him, did he still have any of them old chairs around? And he said, yeah. So I'm like, can you sell them to me? He sold me the stuff for $5 and, you know, just nothing. And so this was my first step to encouragement to make it work. And I just went out for pursuing, buy a fork, buy a plate, buy a pot, buy a stove, whatever I could buy and put it in storage. And when I got enough, I'm like, well, I'm gonna give it a try. I remember the day that I was looking for a place. I was looking for a place for $200 and found out the places was $2,000. I'm like, oh God. So that knocked me down. And when I got my confidence back up again, there were so many obstacles, but me determined to do what I was going to do. I just kept pushing forward. I walk by faith, as they say. I walk by faith and things start materializing. I say to people, if you want it, I don't care if it's a lemonade stand, you got to take the steps to do it, but it's a lot of work. You got to be willing to put in the work. Nothing is handed to you. I mean, I think I was in the restaurant business probably 15 or 20 years before I was able to get my first loan.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, I mean, and I'm saying being a Black woman, some people might not, agree with that, but that's my experience. It was not an easy road, but I was so determined that I was gonna make it work that I just took all the steps. I would go someplace and they'll say, well, you need this, I'll go do that. And then I was determined that they can only tell me so many things that I gotta do. And I'm gonna go down that list. And when I get to the bottom of the list, they don't have anything else to tell me to do. So it's gotta work. And that's what I did. I did everything everybody asked me to do, all the inspections, all the, regulations. And I remember when I thought I was getting ready to open, I called the inspector out and he told me that the hood I had in my restaurant was not going to work because it was a bakery hood and I had deep fries. And hoods are like $20,000 and $22,000 or up. And I'm like, where am I going to get this from? But a young man by the name of Mr. Strauss that lived here in St. Louis, he's the same man that told me, remember, this is your dream, it's nobody else's. And nobody's going to encourage you and nobody's going to make it work but you. And if you want to, you'll get it. And that's what I did. I just went after the little thing time and it happened. It happened for me.
That is so inspiring.
Yeah, it's so encouraging. Thank you for sharing that story.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the work that you want to put into your dream because it can happen. I mean, it happened. I often wonder why I didn't think of toothpicks, toilet paper.
Yeah, right.
Stuff that lasts a long time, a lifetime. And I'm still trying to come up with that idea.
I was about to say, you can still come up with some ideas now.
I'm still coming up money. I ain't through yet. I ain't through yet. So,
well,
you have to reinvent yourself. Time changes.
How did it feel because of course yes,
sorry.
I was going to say, how did it feel? Because of course I am familiar with your restaurant from the reality show, but seeing like the lines down the block, how did that feel when, okay, you went through all of this to get it open, to acquire your dream, and then you start working your dream, and then all of a sudden it's like, is it a shock that it is a huge success?
It's a shock. It's a shock because I say to people, there's 100 restaurants that open every day, and statistics say 95 of them fail. Right. So to make mine for me to be quote unquote what they call successful, it's truly a blessing. And I tell my employees all the time, people pass 50 restaurants to come here, treat them right, make sure we're nice to them. I try to make sure my food is the best that I can produce. And I do everything with love. because I'm grateful that these people take the time to come to my restaurant. I mean, it's just like somebody when they see you and they remember your name, they don't have to, but it's an honor and a blessing if they remember your name. So I don't take that lightly. I appreciate it. And I really, really feel honored that people come and want to take pictures with me, because I never dreamed this happened to me in my 70s. So you never know where your blessings are coming from, and you know how old. And I'm 80, and I'm still coming up with ideas, and I still got dreams. I didn't die, so I got to keep going.
I know that's right.
Yeah.
How did you fare through the pandemic? I'm sure you had a rough road there for a while.
Yeah, I had a rough road, and we still not back to the full capacity, but I saved my money. So I've always been a saver. Like if I break $1, I don't spend the change. I drop the change, and when it's come, I change out. So you gotta have working capital to maintain, because who knew this was gonna happen? I've been in business 30 years. I never dreamed of a pandemic. You know, me having to close my business, people not coming out. So you have to prepare as the older people. I don't know how old they are. I'll say save for a rainy day.
Yeah.
And that's why I prepare for days. Yes.
Well, so because you were prepared, what would you suggest to those? Because I think a lot of people through this pandemic, they have lost their jobs, their businesses, their homes, their lives, family members have lost their lives. What would you say to people who now we're almost through it? We're not. What would you say to those people when you have these types of trials and tribulations of basically getting back up and basically having to start all over again? What advice would you give people that are going to have to do that?
Well, my advice is if you did it once, you can do it again. It might be harder the second time because you've experienced like the pandemic. We didn't know this was going to happen. So that's not something that you can prepare for. It's just like, it's not like you look at your shoes and they're worn out and you need a new pair. But this is something we can't avoid, but just, I don't want to say, just believe in yourself. And if you want to do it again, if you did it once, you can do it again. A millionaire told me he was a millionaire 9 times and lost it.
Well, yeah.
Once you have the secret, they say, to becoming a millionaire, you can do it over and over, but the problem is keeping it.
Yes.
So that's the thing. But my heart goes out to the people that lost their business, because I could have been one of those. But it just happened that I was blessed that the customers came just enough to keep me afloat. And like I say, I'm not, it's hard finding employees. The suppliers don't have it. So sometimes the odds are so great that you have to work within the system to maintain. And I've learned enough to know how to do that. But it's not something that you could pick and choose. I mean, nobody wants to lose their business, and I'm sure most of them held on as long as they could. But I was one of the lucky ones, and I'm thankful, but I'm just barely hanging on. My aunt used to say, when you get to the end of your rope, tie a knot in it. You can hang on a little longer. But if you believe in yourself and you got something, and maybe you want to try something different. So my thing, I'm trying to get my product in the stores, so I don't have to wait for people to come into Sweetie Pies to purchase them. I want them to be able to purchase them all over the world. So we all got different dreams, but you have to pursue it, because it's a million people have the same dream that you do. And like they say, the early bird gets the worm.
Ms.Robbie, I'm surprised somebody knocking down your door to put your stuff in their stores. What's wrong with your folks?
What products? I need to make sure what I need to get ready to buy.
Just like you said that, but they're not knocking down my doors.
Who we need to tweet?
I don't know. If I did, I would tweet them too.
Who you trying to get to? Walmart, DJ, Target. Where you trying to go? Kroger,
Targets, Kroger's, anybody. Piggly Wiggly, Hoggly Doggly.
You about to start tweeting everybody.
Yes.
All right, well, do that for me. I need your help. And see, you got to get it.
What kind of
another
products
thing.
were you thinking about selling in the grocery stores?
I want to put my pies in there. I know Patty's got her sweet potato pies. God bless her. I want to get mine. I want my cornbread out there. I got several things that I want to put out there, but cornbread is one of my next things that I want to put out there.
Well, we are putting that out into the universe that it is going to happen for you, Miss Robbie. We're gonna be starting tweeting like, y'all wait for Miss Robbie's cornbread to be in the store.
We need a hashtag.
Hashtag Miss Robbie's cornbread.
Miss Robbie's cornbread.
Thank you. Like I say, we got to help each other.
That's
definitely.
Right. Yes,
well, thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Yes, thank you.
I'm a fan. I can't wait to taste the cornbread and the chicken and the pies and everything because the food just looks phenomenal. I cannot wait. But I also want everybody to make sure, are you selling your CD or your song any place that people can go and purchase it?
Well, it's on YouTube. I think me just getting back into this music business totally different. So I didn't even know what I was doing. I'm like, I'm going in there and make me a song. I was like, I sang on everybody's song. I'm 80 years old. I'm finna put me a song out there.
I know,
and that's how that happened. So it's where Tanya, it's digital what? Download.
Okay, so you can download it on digital platforms. Okay, guys, you can download it on digital platforms. But we're going to actually play it right now before we get out of here. But thank you again. We wish you nothing but success, peace, and blessings. Thank you so much for being on our show.
Thank you. Everybody for praying for me. Happy holidays. God bless.
God bless you, Ms. Robbie. You guys,
Ms. Robbie's cornbread.
Yes. Hashtag. Right now we going out with "Ain't My Stuff Good Enough" by Ms. Robbie, and we'll be back. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.